Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for June 2025 for each life path number to see how these energies could present for you in the month that follows. This, of course, is a general reading. If you would like your own personal numerology forecast or reading, please book some time with me. My information's in the description box below, and I would love to work with you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at June. Life path number 5, you are going to be working with the vibration of the 22 for June, so 202. This is an energy and a cycle that can bring in a lot of different turning points and the need for decisions, for taking action, for being adaptable and kind of rolling with what life hands you this month and figuring out how to move with it as it comes in. This is a time when you could see sudden events happen that absolutely require you to make some kind of a decision that could absolutely bring in some kind of a turning point within your life. And it could bring in a change of location or a new job or a fresh relationship or a fresh perspective that could require new and different actions from you. So this is a time where you could see change come in and you'll have to kind of figure out how to work with that change. And to be able to sort of weigh your options and see the alternatives and not get stuck in old ways or old habits or old ways of doing things. But ultimately, by making the decision, right, because this is a very decisive type of energy. So all through the month, you could see situations come up where you feel like you're at a crossroads and you have to be discerning and make a decision, right? And that can bring anxiety to the best of us. So you're just going to want to make sure that you're honoring how you feel about something, you're weighing your options, you're really being curious and exploring, not being too impulsive, and making the decision that feels right for you in that moment and not avoiding the opportunity or the need for the decision. You see what I'm saying? So once you make that decision, then you can create some kind of a plan for the action that you'll take. And it's that action that will likely change the circumstances in some way for you. And so again, there might be, a new job on the horizon or a new relationship or taking a relationship to the next level or whatever is very, very possible. Or again, moving locations is very possible. But change is really up your alley, to be honest, right? As a 5, this is the name of the game for you all in this lifetime is being adaptable, moving with change and transformation and, being able to think quickly on your feet and change direction quickly. So you actually thrive with this energy. It's just you're going to have to, again, weigh your options, formulate a plan, be decisive, take the action, and then follow through. The follow through is what could trip you all up, but it's going to be required in order to see the results of whatever that decision is that you end up making, right? And to see the results fulfilled, right? The vision fulfilled. Why did you make the decision in the first place? What was the driving force? What was the destination that you wanted to get to from that decision, right? The only way you're going to get there is through the follow through. So it's helping you to flex that muscle of not only committing to something, but follow through as well. And I would say, you'll be able to kind of learn a lot about yourself through this month, through the experiences of this month. And you'll be able to recognize just how adaptable you are and just how capable you are, not only of changing direction, but committing to something and following through and moving with the punches as they come in or moving with, the changes as they come in. And I would say, again, weigh and measure your present situation or any situations that's sort of presented to you during this cycle. And you are very capable of formulating a very profitable plan, one that can be sort of implemented and followed through with. And that's where you'll see the success from this cycle, right? It's in that, not only in the decision that will be required, but taking the action and following through with that action. And there's a potential that you could see some good success come in from that, whatever success means for you. Now, I will say, Unless you act decisively with this energy and put your ideas into some kind of practical use, then the influence of this energy can sort of make you feel restless and have anxiety and feel really uneasy about the future, about your decision, whatever that may be. And so you just have to keep in mind that this month is a period of growth, a period that will bring opportunities for growth and change, and for seeing things more clearly, getting some kind of greater clarity in some area that will help you to make that decision, and then will help you to take the action from that decision. So this is an opportunity for greater growth and for greater understanding of where are you at now in your journey and where do you want to be moving towards? What does that look like? And what will that require? What kind of decisions will that require? And what kind of actions will that require? So this is definitely a month where I would say don't resist the need for change, and however that shows up, and continue to flex your muscle of being adaptable and use common sense, and you'll come to the best logical conclusion for what your decision should be. So yeah, if I was to sort of condense this into a few words of what I would suggest for this month is, if you find yourself at a crossroads where a decision has to be made about something, weigh your options, formulate some kind of a plan, and then decide what it is that you want, decide what direction you want to move in, and then take the steps, right? Could be baby steps, but take the first step in that direction. So take action. And then the follow through. See it through to completion to see if it was the right decision, because you won't really know for the most part. Sometimes we know along the way and we can always pivot and change gears. But sometimes, and especially as fives, sometimes you might not see whether something was truly for you or not until you see it through to completion. And that's kind of the caveat to the five, right? That's the tug of war of the five. Yeah, so very positive energy here, but you're sort of at the helm of that ship as always, right? Could be a lot of turning points that come in for you all this month in relationships and career and belief systems and values, you name it. But you again are at the helm of that ship, and your decisions will determine, your decisions and your actions will determine the experience that you have. I pulled an animal wisdom message and you got owl energy. And I think that that's so perfect because a lot of times when it comes to making important decisions, it's really easy to get overwhelmed and feel anxious by having to make those decisions because we don't, we can't see the future. So we don't know how things are going to turn out. There's a lot of unknowns. And so it can bring about some anxiety and can deter us from making those decisions, or deter us from making decisions from our own North Star and our own inner knowing. And so a lot of times we can be easily influenced by the external. We can ask others what we should do and listen to that guidance to the T, to where we end up making decisions that are actually better for somebody else and not ourselves. And with owl energy coming through, there's just this reminder to trust your inner knowing, trust your own personal North Star, that intuition. It's never going to lead you astray. So when it comes to, you being at those crossroads and having to make some kind of important decision, trust yourself, right? Take the information that's being presented to you. If you want someone to offer their advice, great, but take it with a grain of salt. Take the pieces that work for you and leave the rest. And ultimately, let the decision be based on how you intuitively feel about the decision and the direction that you want to be moving in, because that's going to give you the best guidance. That's going to give you the greater guidance over anything in the external. And so owl energy coming through is just to remind you of that. Nobody is going to make a better decision for you in your life than you. And that stems from your own inner knowing. So really powerful energy this month, fives. I hope it's a great one. Trust yourself. You've got this. Take care. Bye for now.